Really, like, crossing my fingers that we are good. Okay, it says we are live. So, yay! Thank you so much for being here with me today, Luke.
No problem. Awesome.
Awesome. So, I'm just going to ask you a couple questions. So, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Luke Odom. I've been in the fitness industry now for 14 years. So actually, Nicole and I rubbed shoulders back many years ago back at a coaching firm she used to be a part of. And so that's actually was when I was growing my brick and mortar facility. So to see what's transpired now, my family and I, when COVID hit, our facility was shut down, and I was forced to go to like a virtual model. And so we started thinking like, well, hey, if we're going to do this thing virtual, well, where would we want to live? And why not get rid of 90% of the headache of all the employees and the cost to run a brick and mortar and actually do this thing? So uh, when I did that, I had some ideas of what I wanted to do, but I had no structure whatsoever. So I had a couple of people that were in Nicole's group and her coaching. I was like, Nicole, we've rubbed shoulders before. I know you're good. I need a system. So help me.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you mind sharing, like, since then, you have moved away from where your brick and mortar was in Illinois. You're in
Yep.
Tennessee now,
Yep.
and you're totally virtual.
Yeah. So August 31st, we moved to Knoxville, Tennessee, which was man, that was quite the change. Obviously, to give you a little snapshot of all that went on, we closed down my business, sold off all the assets, and then we packed up our house, sold our house in 3 hours, moved down to Knoxville, found a house we love, and then we were homeless for about 7 weeks in the process, by the way, because the people that were selling the house had they needed time, pushed it back. So there was a lot of things that changed and transformed, and but more importantly, I obviously knew I wanted to get into the virtual side, and so not knowing exactly how to do that, um, to have to get some insight on what that was going to look like for me was going to be key, because I'm like one of those guys. Give me a system, like I'll run the play. Give me the play and I'll run it.
Yeah.
And so it's almost been 5 months now, at the end of January, since I've been going virtual now, and yeah, we just got just under 20 clients, and it's exploding. They're getting. What's so amazing is people are like, you get results virtually. I'm like, even better results virtually,
Isn't that
because
amazing?
most people, yeah, they're like, they recognize they don't have to do a lot of work. They can do it all from home, and the accountability systems and technology nowadays, it's better than what we were doing in person, and so many levels. So
I love that. And I want people to hear that, because I know so many coaches are so scared that they're not going to be able to get their clients the same results. And that's just not true. So, okay. So, tell us, so you obviously, and actually what you said is so interesting about, like, not really knowing what to do or where to start. Given that you've been in the industry for so long, you've had a brick and mortar. So many people
mhm.
think, oh, well, I'll just, take my brick and mortar services that I know how to deliver, and I'll do it online and I'll charge a little bit less. But you have taken a different approach. So can you tell us, like, a little bit about how you're working with clients?
Yeah. So for me, um, I when I was in the brick and mortar business, obviously my hook was fitness. So many of you are out there right now, like fitness is your hook, and I get it. And um, but where the transformation was in habits and behaviors. Like, and for those of you who are out there who are actually making game changing in your coaching, that's where the keys at. And so for me, I'm like, if it's going to come down to habits and behaviors, I don't need a brick and mortar facility to do that. And if I look at I've been in the industry for I just passed 18 years, which is crazy to think, being in the fitness industry, being business owner for 14. So to think that all my clients, like, who got like the most amazing results, they were always the clients that spent the most time doing the hard work behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Like, yes, did they work out consistently? Sure, but it was the ones who were thinking differently. They were being more accountable to what they were eating, how they were showing up on an ongoing basis. Like they wanted more. They were asking questions about the things. And so what's really been interesting to transition all of my intellectual knowledge and my property that I've had up here for years, that I would say maybe 10 to 15% of my clients actually got on an ongoing basis.
Mhm.
And to start to like deliver that, that's what's actually been most like awakening for me, because I'm like, I love producing content. I love teaching. I love coaching. And to be honest, I didn't do a lot of that prior to me taking the leap of faith to get into the virtual model, because I mean, I put on ads and people would show up in my facility, and we'd tell them what's up, and I mean, it worked. Don't get me wrong. It was fun while it lasted. I loved engaging people, but I knew the end result was like I wanted to change more people's lives, and especially nowadays, like in the climate of like health and concern and worry and all those different things. It's like, hey, I have a system, I have a program that can absolutely transform your life. And it's been so fun to actually see through these last 3 months, because I just finished my first like beta
Mhm.
group that went through,
Mhm.
and the results that people have been getting. It's just, I mean, it's life changing.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say, in the past, I mean, I would have one or two clients that would be life changing clients, but to hear where some of my newest clients I've been working with, just the change and transformation of how they think, their behaviors, their lifestyle, like that's what I get fired up about. And yes, it has been overwhelming to see the influence. I mean, my influence was in Naperville. It was like a square.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, you come work with me, I have to be in a facility. I remember having so many conversations, Nicole, where people would be like, "Hey, I'd work with you, but you're in Illinois," and I'm like, "Yeah, all right, no worries," like, and I would come up with like a random, oh, I could do some online stuff, but it wasn't a product, it wasn't a system,
Right.
it wasn't anything. So to really differentiate myself has been actually really fun. And aside from the business side, Nicole, and I know one of the things that you talk about within your course is like, it's actually forced me to step up in a way where I've connected with how I want to show up with like my passion, which
Yeah.
has been really like, which has like really ignited me. Because it's like, we were having this conversation right before we jumped on live. I'm like, I actually kind of feel guilty now, because I'm like changing the world. Like income's starting to change. Our lifestyle has changed drastically, and I feel like I should be working harder for this, because
Yeah.
back when I was the studio, for all of you who are listening who had your brick and mortar still, like I still remember, like if someone didn't show up to clean, like I was the person who cleaned. If my employee got sick, I was the one who had to fill in. If something went wrong with the facility, that was me. Like my landlord wanted to increase my rent, like I had to
Yeah.
pay it regardless. I couldn't do anything different. So to be on this side of freedom has been quite the experience.
I can like feel all your energy and your passion behind that. And yeah, I mean, the financial piece is huge. So I know kind of at the end of our 12 weeks together, you generated about 25K in sales. It sounds like you're close to doubling that. And that's just in the last like 4 months of your business. And,
Mhm.
to know that that's, probably 90+% or 80% profit at this point compared to the studio ownership, like what an amazing transformation. And now you get to live where you want to live. And it's just
Mhm.
a huge transition that I am so happy for you that you've been able to create. So, where are you wanting to take things in your business?
Yeah, well, it's been so fun. For so long, I mean, having the knowledge I've had, and the experience, of seeing firsthand like what people need, and like what actually works and what doesn't work. To actually put that method into practice, there's like it's endless as to like what the opportunities, especially in this climate of like disarray with all the stuff that's happened in this world. Like I remember when I actually started my business, my brick and mortar business was 2007 of December going into 2008. So like I've been there where it was like, what are you doing? Why are you starting a business? So to be back in this place where I started a business when it was like probably the
In a
worst time to start a
pandemic.
business in a pandemic. But this has actually been great for me, because it actually introduced the process of like people getting used to having technology and interacting with it in a different way to get what they
Mhm.
want. And you hear about the early adopters, the people who are making the switch and the transitions now.
Mhm.
If you're on the fence about making the transition, I tell you, there's so many opportunities. And for me right now, with having my programs built out, with my signature offer of my 12-week transformational program, it's really getting a lot of people results with keeping people engaged with the coaching element. I mean, I can't wait for the world to open up again, because we're going to be doing every quarter, we're going to pick a place, an island somewhere, rent it out, have a week-long wellness retreats. I can't wait to start doing more speaking engagements where people
Yeah.
can come in for a weekend workshop. And actually, I've got a buddy who's got a really nice ranch, like this farm in Tennessee. So that's on the horizon. So, and what's interesting about this is like this whole process. I'm aligned with what I want, like
Mhm.
who I want to be, but more importantly, I'm making the impact that um, I've always wanted to do, which is taking something that's so precious to me, like health and wellness, and really delivering in a way where people can take it and make it their own. And so, to answer your question, like the sky's endless, but trust me when I tell you, the more I'm on this side.
Yeah.
And I remember reading your post the other day. It was really fun. It was like you said, 80 to 90% of my time I spend with, just thinking and being unplugged. And I was like, I'm kind of getting to that place where I was like, I caught myself. It was about a month ago. I caught myself wanting to be really, really busy for no reason. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, Luke, you could just unplug for a while. So to be around with my kids and pick them up from the bus stop and have dinner at, you guys know, whoever, if you're in the studio life, it's mornings, early mornings, late nights, and everything in between. And so to be in a place where my life is working and like I'm happy, and don't get me wrong, it has been it's been a grind, for those
Yeah.
of you like
Always
it's
the
been a
beginning of
freaking grind.
business.
Yeah, especially because we moved down here like it was good. My wife hasn't been working, so it's like let's go time. But
Yeah.
now to see the fruit from all that start to transition and grow, like
Yeah.
that is the exciting piece for that.
Yeah.
So
And it's a relatively short period of time in the grand scheme of business. And like, it's just so cool because you're clearly on fire with purpose and passion and impact. And now you're creating the income and lifestyle that just makes it like just such a purpose driven, desire driven business. There's no more obligation. There's no more I have to. It's all really just coming from a place of service and passion fueled, which I love for you. And it's very clear how much you love what you're doing. And I'm just grateful for being part of that first step, that bridge to get you into the online space. And I'm so excited to see what you create in the coming months and years, regardless of pandemics or whatever happens in the world.
absolutely, yeah. Well,
Awesome.
I appreciate you, Nicole. It's
Yes.
been awesome.
Yes. Thank you for sharing your heart with us today. And I will speak with you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.